Okay, now we're going to be discussing the strategies for black and what we want to. I removed all the pieces from the board just so it'll be easier to show my illustrations here. And there's two things that you want to concentrate on when you're playing black. And the first one is pawn structure, which is just how the pawns are, the position on the board relative to each other. And that term comes from chess, where your pawns determine in chess where your major pieces go and where they can and can't go. And this game's the same way. They determine where the king can and can't go and where your own pieces can and can't go. And sort of whoever has the better pawn structure is more likely to win the game. And the second thing you want to concentrate on when playing black is mobility of the pieces, which is just how well they move in each direction, because that's going to give you the most options. And just like most abstract strategy games, the goal is to have your pieces have more options on the next move than your opponent's options. And you want to try and get to where your opponent has less options on each of your moves. That way you're more efficient. So the first structure we're going to look at here, this is called a doubled pawn, and that term was also borrowed from chess, where chess, they'll capture and a guy sort of ends up being in front if you're going this way. And it's not good in chess, and it's also not good in top. So that the double pawns, that's not good. This is a structure called triple pawns, and that's also not good. Here's quadruple pawns, and then here's, continuing on there. Well, why are those structures bad? Well, if your enemy piece is, this way, the structure is going to be inefficient in one direction because the pieces move orthogonally. So it's going to be able to move parallel and have a lot of mobility that way. Pieces on this side are going to have a lot of mobility this way. So you have a lot of pieces there, but they're not really efficient that way. Also, looking at the mobility, the second thing we consider is that piece moves in 3 directions. This piece moves in 2, but he's sort of blocked. His own men are sort of blocking him moving in 2 directions. Same with these other middle guys. And the same thing would be if they were, of course, in the other direction. This way, it's just the same thing, just the opposite direction. So, also, if you wanted to, if any of these pieces were being attacked, this guy comes this way, and you wanted to defend it, this guy sort of has to come out and around, and 2 sort of awkward moves there, and yet, but these 2 pieces have so much mobility they could easily attack any of those pieces. So this structure is also hard to defend and hard to attack from. So let's look at a good structure. A good structure would be like if it was 2 pawns that way. If it was 3 pawns this way, 4, and then you get the idea. So why is this good? Well, let's look at how well it blocks. Remember, before they were inefficient in one direction, but look, they're efficient basically on every row. They're efficient either way. They hinder your opponent's mobility. And then let's try to attack. Let's just say we're going to attack this guy. Well, here, that wouldn't be. Let me just move these over. Actually, I don't want them on the throne. Okay, so let's just say we're going to attack this guy here, or these 2 guys at the same time. Remember before how they were lined up, and you had to go around and make sort of an awkward move there. Well, this is just one move, and now he's gone, and it was much more efficient move. It took half the moves there. But also you have other choices. You don't have to just attack with this one. You can attack this one here, and he's also gone. So you have 2 options of attacking. It's very quick attacks, and so it's better that way. Then let's look at the mobility too. Each one is going to have, well, this guy on the end only has those three, but this has 4 ways of movement. Remember how before when they were lined up, they were always, the inner guys were blocking each other, prohibiting each other from moving in 2 directions. Now they each have 4. This has 4. This also has 4. He has 4. So you have a lot more options this way of moving around the board and addressing what's going on, for the white side. And how can you achieve those during a game? Well, the best way, it could be any time during the game that you make a move to get to form. That's called a pawn chain when they're diagonal. It comes from chess as well. It's called a chain. And now, so if you wanted, here's the main set of chains and diagonals to aim for while you're playing the game. It's along these diagonals here. Now obviously you're not going to be able to do a whole, play in the game and make this during a game, unless the guy's a foolish player that you're playing. But if you always have that in mind, have that pattern in the back of your mind where you can see it, then make a move along, then your next move is here. Now you've made this one. Think to yourself that if you don't know what to do on a move, say, can I make a move along that diagonal to help me out and make me more efficient? And usually it's just always a good idea to do that. One thing too that I wanted to show about that is that when you make this structure, one of the characteristics about it is that you have a man, 1 to 4 in this case, but you have 1 or more men on each rank and file. So these would be the files A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and then these would be the ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So going this way and this way, you have 1 man, at least 1 man on there, and that's gonna really help you out, because that leads us to the next one, to the next point I wanted to make, and that's where you always want to maintain 1 to 2 pieces on every rank and file. Your pieces are going to be more efficient that way, and you're going to control as many files and ranks as possible. You're gonna that's one of the ways to reduce your opponent's options. So let's just say, let's just do this here. So you didn't concentrate on making a diagonal, but let's see what we got here. I know one's missing here. So if you're in the middle of a game and you're not making diagonal formations, at least keep that the benefit of a diagonal in mind, which is having a man on every row, rank and file. So just do a quick if you don't know what to do, just do a quick analysis and see if you can follow that rule. So here we got everything's covered this way. Let's look at this way. Yeah, everything's all covered. So so this would look good. If you didn't have, for instance, this one, ask yourself, hey, can I make a move here that's not wasteful, in order to get everything covered. If you didn't have guys on this middle one here, can I do this without making a mistake? Can I move on to that file? So the next thing that you want to concentrate on is you don't want to isolate pawns on the edge of the board, the periphery of the board especially. This one's isolated. It's not too bad. He's not on the edge of the board. He's got men sort of close to him. This one's fine too. I gotta cut the video here.